Good morning and welcome to our Creating Your Virtual Marketing Sur Thrival Plan webinar. Please let me introduce the president of CAMP, Ms. Audrey Boissneau. Audrey?
Thank you so much, Megan. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. We're so happy that you're here. We have a few things to attend to before we get going. Number one, Tuesday at 11 a.m. we'll have our what has become a weekly update with Dave Luna. He'll be giving us the latest and greatest on what is going on in the mortgage industry. And he's been doing an amazing job of taking us from one week to the next. So I spoke to him yesterday. There were already 4 pages of things that he was going to cover on Tuesday, and we were a long way from Tuesday yesterday. So looking forward to that. We'll have Barry Habib again at the end of next week, and then we are constantly adding and planning new things. I want to take a moment to say thank you so much to Megan Jackson, who is the person who is facilitating on the back end of things for us. Without her, none of this would be happening. And to also let you know that we have a 20-hour pre-licensure mortgage educators class coming up on May 1st and May 2nd. It will be a live 2-day class virtually online with Kevin Casey, our president-elect for CAMP. So with no further ado, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Ginger, for joining us today. You are such an amazing asset for the mortgage industry and such a wonderful person. I'm so grateful that you're in all of our lives, and we're really looking forward to everything you have to share with us today. So take it away.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Audrey. And of course, thank you, Megan. And we have Kevin Casey on the phone also. So thank you so much for making this available. And thank you to all of my friends, to everyone at CAMP. I am in Oregon, but it's funny because when I first started doing training and meetings with CAMP, gosh, I don't know, maybe Audrey, 12, 15 years ago, it was, a lot of people thought I lived in California. They were surprised to hear I actually lived in Oregon. And
I totally thought you lived in California. Totally.
But yeah, I'm a Cali girl. I just happen to live in Oregon. But I want to thank you so much for, first of all, reaching out to me and asking me to share this information. You know, it's funny because I do a lot of webinars for my clients, and all the webinars that I had planned in April for my clients were all based on non-QM products and different MI products and emerging products and second mortgages. And of course, March 13th, when we all had the change of world that came upon us, we quickly changed from all of that. And then I said, okay, what do people need right now? And what we need is, first of all, positivity. Second of all, support and camaraderie, which is what the CAMP does, and providing that support. And then third, we need to know how to do a meeting. We need to know how to live in this virtual world. So I started creating content and moving into that. And so that's part of what all of this came around and about from. So thank you for including me as a part of CAMP, and thank you for inviting me to share some information with you. So with that, I've created what I'm calling a Sur Thrival workbook, and it's a Sur Thrival marketing workbook because everything has changed so much that we need to change everything we're doing in terms of marketing and educating and providing information. So I have it on my website. Megan's going to also send out a copy after this, so you can get it there. But if you want to get it now, just go to my website, which is edumarketing.com, and then click on the link that says Sur Thrival Workbook, and so you can do that. For those of you who are on the call who don't know me, as Audrey said, my name is Ginger Bell. I have been providing education in the mortgage industry for the past 12, 15 years, somewhere around there. I've had the pleasure of writing 3 books, 2 with Brian Tracy and 1 with Jack Canfield, and I am what I call an edu-marketing specialist. And so I help companies to develop educational and marketing programs and position themselves as experts in the field. My clients include like Arch MI, Finance of America, First American Title, RE/MAX, and so I help companies really to do everything from videos to webinars to writing blog articles to conferences and things like that. And the information that I pulled together for you brings in a lot of those different things, but really focusing right now, my goal today is to provide you with information on what you can use today today to go out and provide information to your borrowers, to educate as far as things that are happening, and to be able to share that information. And the reason why is because our world literally changed overnight. March 13th, I was in Atlanta with my son. We had just honestly brought his professional esports team in from Latin America, getting them situated to compete there for the year. We have a housing sponsor there with Equity Prime Mortgage, all these great things happening. And then this happened. So got on a plane, came home, sent my son back to school. And now we live in a whole new world. And we have new terms like social distancing and flatten the curve and shelter in place and forbearance and furlough. And all of this is happening in the middle of rates hitting historic lows. And the reality is you need to communicate with your borrowers. That hasn't changed. And they want information. They need information. But right now, you can no longer meet with them face to face. And I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon. You know, we all had hopes of April, 30th. Okay, we're going to, put our heads out and rub our eyes like it's spring and say, oh, this is so nice, it's over, but it's not going to be over. So it's really time to adapt. And in order to adapt, we need to become very good and very proficient at doing virtual meetings, at doing videos, on doing online webinars, because all of those things are the new norm. And so today, what I'm going to cover for you, and I'm going to be flying through this. So I can tell you I've had 2 cups of coffee. I've already had a couple of webinars I've done this morning. So if you have questions today, please type them in the question box. Audrey's going to lob those up to me when we get to the very end. And I want to make sure I answer those. But here's what I'm going to be covering. So virtual meeting software options, going through how to set up those virtual meetings, how to use them, how to use webinars to educate and what the difference is, how to create videos that inform and educate, and then how to create a virtual marketing plan. So virtual meetings are easy to conduct, and we have all become somewhat proficient at it, probably best at the virtual happy hours. If you haven't had one, I highly encourage you to do it. It is a great way to be able to connect. And, it's funny because I've probably talked to more people and seen more people virtually than I have in probably a couple years. And so it's a great way to be able to do that. But you need to use that, obviously, for your business. And all you need for a virtual meeting is an internet connection or on your mobile phone. You need audio, so you can connect to either your computer or your telephone through either your speakers or microphone. And you need a webcam, which you can have on your computer or on your telephone. So pretty simple to be able to conduct this. The top video conferencing technologies, Zoom. I've been using Zoom for a couple of years. I have all my clients on Zoom. And so I'm going to show you how to use that for a couple of different reasons. One is I'm going to show you how to use it free, which is a very good price. And it's also the one that I'm most used to. And it's the one that I think you can do the most on. There's another one that's called Join Me that a lot of millennials use just to chat with each other. And then there's GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, which is what we're on right now. And then there's Skype. And I know a lot of companies use Skype. So using virtual meetings, what you need to do is think about where you're going to use those at. And oftentimes we think about just an application. But really, there are several touch points throughout the entire process that you can use those virtual meetings. And I think you should use it at the beginning, at the middle, and the end. And especially until we can start meeting with people, because you want to have that visual interaction with them. You want to see them, you want them to see you. That's going to establish trust. So think about those different touch points throughout the process where you can use those. Same thing with your partners. Start holding those virtual meetings with your partners, even if it's just nothing more to check in or to provide information. Audrey and I were talking about prior to getting onto this call about all the things that are happening that you can talk about. And I'm going to talk about this in some videos, but realtors are really wanting to know what's going on. And so letting them know what's going on our side, I think is more critical now than ever. So your Zoom video conferencing is the one, as I said, that's one of the easiest ones to use. You can hold virtual meetings, you can do webinars, you use your computer, you can use your phone. Borrowers can interact with you visually, and the nice thing is they can be on their phone. It's super simple. They don't even have to download anything. They can connect with you personally, and you can establish that trust and likability, which is what we want. So what's the difference between a meeting and a webinar? I often get this question. So a meeting is ideal for hosting more of an interactive session where you're going to have a dialogue, and you'll want to have a lot of audience participation. It's usually best for either one-on-one or smaller group settings. So the Zoom meeting, the free application that you can get, you can host up to, I think it's 40 people in there, but for your longer meetings, if you have 3 people in there, you can have your timing on that meeting for an unlimited amount of time. If you have more than 3 people and you count as one of those 3, so if you have 4 people in there, you're limited to 40 minutes. But other than that, you can do virtually everything on that. You have to do the paid session for most of your webinars of any of the applications, whether it's GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, Zoom, and you want to think of webinars basically like a virtual lecture hall or an auditorium. So webinars are best for any kind of large or mid-sized meetings that you're going to have or events. And usually they're open to the public, and you have a registration process, just like you registered for this webinar, and that's what you want. So your webinars you're going to use for more of your maybe public, what you used to do for your first-time homebuyer webinars or live conferences. I have a client that wants to do VA webinars, and he used to do a lot of public webinars, and so he's looking at doing webinars. And I recommend to do the webinar rather than the meeting, especially for your public facing, because then you can gather information. And that's the goal in doing that. So they can register for it, you control it, you control them talking, you can mute them. It just gives you more of that flexibility. It's best used for meetings, for small groups, your customer facing meetings, your sales meetings, your training sessions, things like that for your meetings. Webinars are best used for larger events, realtor presentations, consumer presentations, any kind of educational events. Your cost for meetings, there's several free as well as paid options. Zoom is free, and you get a lot of things with it. If you want to have longer meetings, then it's $15 a month, so it's still very affordable. The webinars kind of depends on how many seats you want to have, and you can check out all of those to find out what those options are. But that's basically the difference between the meetings and the webinars. So when you think of where we're at right now, and if you used to do, or if you want to do live workshops, you can do webinars instead. And the nice thing is you can do a lot of webinars. I think I don't even know how many webinars I've done in the last 2 weeks. I've probably done like 20, 25 webinars in the last 2 weeks. And it makes it very easy because you don't have that travel. It's easy for people to register. They can hop on. You don't have to plan. You don't have to have all those things that you had before. And so really you want to start thinking about where you can have webinars within your business and determine what are your webinar goals. Identify your topics, create your content, and then think about what you want for both your pre and your post webinar communication. A lot of people really drop the ball as far as after the webinar. And I think that's where the opportunity really lies for you to continue the communication and to really build up that relationship, which is what you want to do with your webinars. So when you're creating a plan for your webinars, you want to plan not just for marketing before, but you want to do a lot of follow-up afterwards. And you want to follow up with content. You want to follow up with even phone calls is a great way to follow up. You want to follow up with any kind of emails, texting, something to reach out. And then you want to follow up with additional value afterwards. So those are things that you want to do. Think of your webinars as truly an entire marketing. That's why I call it edu marketing. So using education to market and position yourself, and webinars are a great way to do that. So let's talk about virtual meetings. Where can you use your virtual meetings at? Your initial application, that's a no-brainer. How about documentation upload? You can show your screen, show them how to be able to upload documents. You can go through the loan review process. You can go through the closing process. You can do team communication, partner communication, pipeline management. All those things are a great way for you to be able to have a quick virtual meeting. So how do you get set up with Zoom? First of all, you go to Zoom, zoom.us is the site, and you click on sign up. If you don't have an account, you can sign up, it's free. If you have a personal account, then you can get a business account, and you can set that up. Once you set it up, then you can instruct your borrowers on how to log in. And so Zoom will give you a email template, and this is what it looks like. I always recommend in that template that you add some additional verbiage that tells your borrowers what they need to do. So above where the join meeting is, I would add click on the meeting link to join the meeting. And then where it says the One Tap Mobile, which is the phone number they're going to call into, I would add click on One Tap Mobile to join audio. That way they know exactly what's happening. But to take it one step further, one of the things that I recommend, write out templates. If you write out templates and you keep them on your phone or on your computer so that all you have to do is copy and paste at each of those touch points that I talked about, you don't have to think about it all the time. It's all about system and duplication. So you write out a template for like the initial application and you say, thank you for your application. I'm sending you a link so we can have a virtual meeting to talk about next steps. Please follow these steps. And then what do? You go through those steps. And the steps, it's important to remember to let them know they can log in from what? Their phone or their computer. Number two, I always include, if you're going to do a video, let them know you're going to do a video so people can be prepared. Guys, maybe for you, not a big deal at all. Girls, oh yeah, I want to know if you're going to put me on video, at least I'm going to brush my hair. So make sure you add in there, if you have video capabilities on your computer or your phone, then you'll be able to join by video. And then let them know you're going to be joining by video so they're not surprised by that. I always believe in letting people know exactly what to expect. And then also to let them know that they should have good audio and video connection, and it can be done online, on their computer, on their phone, whatever you want to put in there. And that's it. So now you have that template. I like to set up all of my virtual meetings through my calendar. And Zoom has a connection that you can download the app and it automatically connects to your calendar. So anytime you go and create a meeting, you can create a Zoom meeting. And so all you have to do is to click on create a calendar invitation. I always recommend to add in the title to include their name, your name, and what you are discussing in the title. And the reason why is usually I do it for myself because it's a reminder for me who I'm having a meeting with. And then also it's a reminder for them, and it reminds everyone what you're there to talk about. So I always recommend doing that. Obviously add the date and time, add their email address, and then all you have to do here is click on make it a Zoom meeting, and Zoom will automatically insert everything into the template. Now, the template that we wrote up before, I want you to copy and paste your template into the description. So super simple. You've already written this, you've written up one time. All you do is copy, paste, and then you click on make it a Zoom meeting, and guess what? You click on send, and this is what your borrower receives. So Zoom automatically pulls the meeting information in there. It says, and see how I put in there Sue and Ginger application meeting. Now I know the reason I like to do calendar invites is it goes on my calendar and it goes on their calendar. And so rather than having to call, hey, did you remember we have a meeting at 7 o'clock? Oh no, I forgot. Well, if it's on the calendar, they know it, they have it. You can tell if they've accepted it, and it's easier to stay in touch. And then the template that we had that we've included in the description, guess what? It's right there. So all your instructions are right there, and it tells them what to do. Now, I get a lot of questions, and I've been doing a lot of training on Zoom and webinars and virtual meetings the past few weeks, and there's been a lot in the news about Zoom bombings and it not being secure and all that other stuff. Well, you know what, guys, Zoom is nothing more than a series of numbers. So all it takes is somebody to write a program and to use a series of algorithms, and eventually somebody's going to be into a webinar. And that's all they're doing. And they're just finding somebody that doesn't have a password. If you set up a password on your meetings, you're not going to have this problem. And so all you have to do is click on my account, click on settings, and make sure that this button is on. It's going to require a password when scheduling a new meeting. Zoom is going to automatically include that password in the invitation, and they will receive that. So then when they get ready to log in, they just type that password in there, and now it's controlled as far as the number of people are in there. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, Audrey, I'm going to stop here and see if we have any questions on virtual meetings, webinars, and Zoom before I go on to the next section on videos.
So we did get a couple questions, and actually you just covered one of them just now, about the meetings being
Security.
crashed and
Yeah.
all sorts of. I've heard some really wild stories about that.
Yeah, me too.
So that password will take it. Somebody was asking about a waiting room feature. Can you talk about that a little bit, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So Zoom does have a waiting room feature, and that's another way to add another level of security. If you are adept at technology, then I would say you can do the waiting room feature, but you have to remember when you add that on there that you have to let people in. And so what the waiting room does, if you do the password and you do the waiting room feature, what the waiting room feature does is makes it to where the only way somebody can get into the room is if you actually click on it and allow them into the room. So it's like a doorbell, which is really cool. It's like if you put somebody in your waiting room in your office. And so that's another level of security. And yes, you can do that. I have trained people on that. I do have clients that use it, but again, you have to be somewhat technologically adept to be able to do that. And you also have to remember you put people in the waiting room, because I did that. I had a meeting I was doing, and I forgot I had honestly turned that feature on my settings, because normally I just do it individually, but I turned it on in my settings to try it out. And I'm like, where is everybody? They saw this, like, and honestly, it was a virtual happy hour. So I'm like, they were in the waiting room waiting to come in. Like, how come you put us
People are
in
not
the
happy.
waiting room?
If you made them wait for happy hour, they're not going to be happy
I
when you
know.
finally let them in.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so the waiting room. So let's say that somebody doesn't know how to do this and is new to Zoom. Are there tutorials on Zoom so that
Yeah,
you
there are.
can watch things and have them walk you through it? Do they
Yep.
walk you through how to set up a waiting room and how to set up a password?
Yep. Yeah. Zoom is fabulous as far as the help features that they have. They have a lot of video tutorials. And so, yeah, they have a help guide and everything. So they can walk you through it. And I
Okay.
mean, if you want, yeah, I mean, honestly, Audrey, if people need more help on Zoom, I am happy to do another webinar and just kind of get into more details as far as Zoom, or to do a one-off or something like that, to where we
That's
can
really
get
kind of
into a
you.
little more detail. So absolutely.
Oh, you're the sweetest. Thank you. That's a great offer, and we may take you up on that. Okay, so the templates that you were referring to and showing us, do people have, I mean, do you sell those? Do you have a package? Do you have some way for people to plug into this without having to reinvent the wheel, where you could provide templates that they could build on? Like
Yeah,
anything like that available for people?
I don't, but I mean, it's something that we could definitely look at doing, and maybe putting a camp special kind of thing together, Audrey, so we can talk
I
about
love
that.
that idea. Yep.
Yeah.
What if we did that, so we had a special for our members that they could either pay a discounted price or something like that. Why don't we work on that? So we'll work on that together. That sounds awesome. Well, when I say together, I mean you put them together because you're the brains behind this operation, and then we'll help get it out there. So that would be
We're all
wonderful,
in it
because
together.
a lot of the limits for people are, okay, so they hit a wall, like, oh God, I have to create templates. Now what?
Yeah.
And then they get
Yeah.
stuck, right? And then that will be
Right.
one more barrier. So if we can remove as many of these barriers as possible, then that
Yeah.
will let more people participate and get proficient quicker, right?
Yeah, and that's a lot of it too, especially as we are getting into this and things are so new. It's like, where are those areas where we can help to streamline the process so that it is easier? Easier on originators, easier on borrowers. It's like, that's the
Right.
whole thing too, and providing the information. So absolutely, we can definitely look at them.
That's great. Do you want to
Okay,
keep
cool.
going, and
I
then we'll
can
come
keep
back to
going.
questions?
Yep,
All
let's do
right.
that.
That sounds great. All right.
Okay, we'll keep trucking along here. So consumers are looking for information, and now more than ever, people are home, people are watching the news, people are on Facebook, people are on social media, people are going to Google, people are going to YouTube. They want information, and now we've kind of gotten into this of seeking of information, and consumers have a huge demand for video. And that was the thing. So you were just watching, is there a video we can watch? Can I, watch how to do this? 54% of consumers, and this is from HubSpot, said they want to see more content from a brand or business they support. Over half of consumers want more video from you. And I'm not talking about social media. I'm not talking about Facebook and LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. I'm talking about where they're going to search for the information, and that is Google and YouTube. What I want you to do is I want you to get in front of what consumers are searching for. And what they're searching for right now changed from what they were searching for before. And what they're searching for right now is, what is forbearance? And if you, and I just did this morning, and I typed into Google, what is forbearance? And this is what came up is stories. So we've got stories from CNN. We've got stories from whatever WSMV is. We've got stories from Marketplace. And that's marketplace.org. So these kind of stories, what is forbearance? These are the kind of things, Audrey, that camp needs to be putting out there. These are the kind of things that you guys need to be putting out there, and nobody's really doing it. We're not doing it. And part of that I know is not knowing what to say. But part of that is, you think about those conversations you're having over and over again and what they're looking for as far as information. They want to know about the CARES Act. That's what they're putting in. That's what they want to know. And so again, this morning I put in CARES Act. And what's interesting to me is on this, and you put in the CARES Act, there is not one flippin' video on this entire first search. And I had to go through several pages in order to get a video. It's all information, but it's by Congress, SBC, Treasury, but there's not any videos on there. People want to see videos. People don't want to read anything.
I hear you, Ginger. I hear you, and we are on it. And I know you're gonna help me. So we'll get on that shortly. Stand by.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, Audrey, is you type in how to bake a cake into Google, and you know what you get? This is what you get. You get your steps, and you get videos. This is the first page. When you type in how to bake a cake, this is what you get, and this is what consumers need. This is what we need to provide them. So my question to all of you is this, and to Camp, I'm asking this. How many of you have a YouTube channel? How many of you have a YouTube channel? To NAM, our National Association, how many of you have a YouTube channel? Because that's where people are going to search. And that's where you want to get in front of people, and you want to give them that information. You know why? We're in the middle of a crisis. Our world has never seen this before. We're not talking about the financial crisis. We're not talking about the mortgage meltdown. We're talking about something completely different. And you want to discover what people are looking for. People are looking for information. So I use a website that's called Answer the Public. And when you go to Answer the Public, you can type in what people are looking. There's a lot of different things you can do on it. And so I actually went there. I typed in forbearance. It's like, I want to know what people about forbearance, what kind of questions that they're asking. And that's specifically, so if you're looking at building content, and this is what I do when I build content for my clients, is I want to know what are the trends, what are people searching for, and what content can be delivered around that so that they can get positioned in the middle of it. So forbearance is huge right now. We know that. So if you go to Answer the Public and you type in forbearance, what you find is there are primarily 63 questions that people are asking over and over and over again. And this is what they tell you on Answer the Public. And so people are asking, people are typing into Google, people are typing into YouTube, when are forbearance agreements used? What are they? And it goes through all of these different, what are they? When can they, where, how, why, and everything. And so you go through this process and you look at that and you say, wow, there's a lot of things that people are asking. So these are great. First of all, topics for you to make. Second of all, hashtags for you to use, because if you use these for your hashtags when you put them onto your YouTube channel and people are searching for them, then guess what? You're going to come up in that search. So that's part of what you want to use in the whole formula as far as, getting in front of people. But one of the number one things that they're asking is, will forbearance be affecting refinancing? And so people want to know that, hey, if I go into forbearance, can I refinance later? They're asking those questions. And so I went to Google and I typed that in, will forbearance affect refinancing? And again, this is what I got up. So there's no videos out there. There's nothing out there. We're not showing them. We're not showing them the how and the why. And why? Why is that? Well, I have an idea. It's because we are intimidated by making videos. We're busy. We don't take times to make videos. And like Audrey said, if you had the scripts, if you had the templates, if you had things like that, then you could do that. And those are things we can definitely talk about, and we have some ideas around that. But the reality is we know what to do. You guys know this conversation. You probably have this conversation with people over and over and over again on the phone because people are calling you. And so the difference is what you need to do is you need to be able to show people how to do that. And we just don't know how to make a video to show people how to do that. And that's why we're not making video. And so I want to change that. I want to change that because, first of all, we as an industry stand strong. We have the information that people are looking for, and we need to get it out there. And I know video works. This is from a survey that's done out of HubSpot. 76% of people, marketers say video helped improve their traffic on their website. 97% of marketers confirm that video has helped increase user understanding of their product. 80% say the video has raised dwell time on their website. 51% of marketing professionals consider video the best rate of return. And 76% of marketers are of the view that it enabled them to increase their sales. So I'm telling you, people are wanting information. I'm telling you they're looking for information. And I'm telling you, you can create the information. And I'm telling you, it's going to help you increase sales. But yet, you're still not doing it. So how do you change that? First of all, you begin by creating a plan for making weekly videos. And it starts by writing out a list of topics and then creating your script. And there's little pointers you can have, like using good lighting and microphone, keeping your energy high, remembering to smile, all those little things. And the main thing is to be relevant. And so some of my best tips and tricks for relevant video message is to provide value. Provide value, give them what they're looking for, be the resource. If you're referencing information, make sure to include a link that you're referencing. You want to keep recording short for highlight videos, but don't be afraid to use longer videos for educating. You know, people are always like, only it has to be 2 minutes. It's like, no, that's not true. You go to YouTube, honestly, the average length on YouTube is 15 minutes. And that's what people need in order to learn about something. So don't be afraid to do that. And then set up a YouTube account now. It's free. It's free. There's no reason why you can't have a YouTube account. And if you get into the habit of making one video a week, just one video a week, then we can start getting information out there. Social media is big right now. You want to be on social media, but you need to be careful about what you're putting on social media. So you want to focus on humanity. You want to share important information. You can showcase virtual attractions in your area, things that are happening. You want to stay positive, 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 only positive. And you can share what your customers are posting. So John Tallinger, he's with Class Evaluation. He had shared the Fannie Mae COVID FAQ. And so he didn't make that up, he just shared it. So those are the kind of things that are great to be able to do. I started a series at the beginning of this. I think my first post on this video series was on March 16th. And Audrey, I need to get you on to do a video with me, girlfriend. And so I just said, you know what, we've been through this before with a mortgage meltdown. I just remember we need positive. And so I started a video series called Flatten the Curve, Not the Spirit. And I just had, I put a post out on social and I said, hey, who wants to hop on? I think I've had 15 videos I posted already in the last like 3 weeks. And so those are the kind of things, and you guys can share this information. You don't have to necessarily create it, just go and share it. RHMI is a client of mine. Unfortunately, we don't have audio capabilities on GoToWebinar, so I will tell you, this is from Marcy, and she was just sharing, I love the video of these kids. She was just sharing things they're doing in their neighborhood, and they have these blessing boxes that are put up. And so it's just a nice little thing. It was fun. It was very positive, and just making recommendations of things that maybe you could do in your neighborhood. And so these are the kind of things that we're starting to see, and things that are very good. So what are consumers wanting to know about right now? They want to know about forbearance. They want to know about furlough, how it affects their closing. And you probably have some of those loans in your pipeline that somebody's on furlough and you cannot close until they come back to work. They want to know about rates, obviously, but I want you guys to stop talking about rates. I want you to start being professional and start educating. And anybody can talk about rates, but you are all professionals and you have an incredible amount of information and knowledge, and that's what you need to talk about. People want to know about the CARES Act. People want to know about refinance options. Obviously, we went through some jumbo pullback. We went through non-QM pullback. We're starting to see some of that come back. Those are things that people want to know about. And you don't have to put everything out there, but just think about the things that you can put out there. They want to know about available loan programs. They want about knowing about buying and selling virtually. They want to know about updates. My neighbor across the street is a real estate agent. I was just talking to him last night, 6 feet distance. Yes, I know. But we were just talking about, what are you going to do moving forward? How are you going to get through this? Those are the kind of things that they want to know, and we can help with that. What they want is they want advice. And what if we provided them with the answers? I mean, what if we did that? All you'd have to do is create a list of topics, pull from that list, create content, add to the list as new topics come up. And then if you're constantly adding, you're going to have ideas for future videos, emails, things like that. So in the handout that is on my website, edumarketing.com, under survival, or survival handout, I've included a blank create a list of topics. So I've made it super simple, and just honestly, just start writing things down. Just ideas. You don't have to expand on it, but just write on ideas. And then when you have those ideas, block into your calendar, maybe Saturday morning. Saturday morning, you sit down with a cup of coffee and you say, I'm going to write out one topic. And so you take that one topic and then you say, what's the opening hook? Talk about forbearance. What's your first point? What's your second point? What's your third point? And then what do you want someone to do after they watched your video? It doesn't have to be long. It can be a one page. But use the script template. And again, I have this script template in there for you, so you can use that. So here's an example of a forbearance doesn't mean forgiveness script. And it's simple. You just have your intro. My name is Ginger Bell with Edu Marketing, and then goes through if you're experiencing difficulty making your mortgage payments due to the coronavirus emergency, forbearance may be an option you're considering. Forbearance may help you get back on your feet during this short-term financial difficulty. So this is actually a script. And I didn't put that in the workbook, but what I can do is copy and paste this and send this to you, Audrey, so you can send that out. Because what you can do, and this is probably, as you say, okay, the biggest thing I'm going to take away from Ginger's webinar today, this is going to be it. Because I'm going to give you the secret sauce to making videos, and it's using a script and a teleprompter. And the reason why is because most of us suffer from forgetfulness when recording a video, and that's one of our biggest fears. We can get over, and a lot of us have gotten over how we look, but it's hard to get over knowing what to say. If you have a script and it's in a teleprompter, which is, think about it, the newscasters, the sportscasters, all of them, guess what they have? They have a teleprompter. They have the words in front of them. That's why they always sound so brilliant, because somebody's written it for them, or even if they've written it, they have a teleprompter. They know exactly what to say. So use a teleprompter. There's a couple of requirements for use a teleprompter. First of all, you have to write a script. You can have an outline. Yes, but I usually recommend putting a script in there. And then the other thing is you have to be good from reading from a teleprompter, which means you have to practice. So your brain is actually working differently when you're reading from a teleprompter because it's involving two functions. And so you have to be able to practice and get in the habit of adding that tone and that emotion and that inflection as you're reading. And you just need to take the time to practice. I have started many of my clients in using teleprompters, and what used to take us a half a day to record in a series of videos, we can get done in a couple hours. And so it really cuts your time because now you know what to say and you don't have a lot of mistakes. It makes it easy. And you say, wow, Ginger, that's fabulous. Where am I going to find a teleprompter? I'm going to tell you where to find a teleprompter. So you can get it on your phone. On the iPhone, Android, two different apps on the iPhone, and this is in the handout. So I have all of this in the handout. So if you're feverishly writing down or trying to take screenshots or whatever, this is in the handout. And so for the iPhone, it's called the Video Teleprompter. You find it under the light. You really want the bundle. And so it comes up first on your app. as the light, and then when you click on it, I think it's the Teleprompter upgrade bundle, and it has 2 of them bundled together. That's what you want. And trust me, I have probably tested about 20 different of these apps, and this is the best one because you can upload a screen. It has a thing for making it go faster, slower, and you have the teleprompter in front of you, so you read it, but it doesn't record the words. It only records you. It's like magic. It's so cool. This thing costs $16.99. For your Android, it's a different brand, so it's the Nano Teleprompter. This one's $3.99, a little less expensive, but it does a lot of the same things. So we have both for the Android and for the iPhone. Seriously, get them. You are going to absolutely love them. Now, what if you had pre-made videos you could use? And this kind of goes to your question, Audrey. It's like, okay, what if we had these kind of things? And I've had a lot of my clients asking us to start creating these. And we've created cartoon videos for the process. We've created cartoon videos for different questions. And so it's part of that whole thing. It makes it easier to be able to have something that's already pre-made that can explain the process, make it easy for you to post and send videos. And it didn't take a ton of time. And so those are some of the things, and unfortunately it doesn't show the audio for you, so I'm going to not show that, but those are some of the cartoon videos. I'm going to post some up onto our website. We actually have some on our website. You can go take a look at what some of those look like. But what if all you had to do was to record a template for your intro and your outro videos? And again, this is what we do for some of our clients. So we call them bookend videos. And so it's a standard video to place at the beginning and end of your video. And then you can use any kind of video that you insert in the middle. And so you write your introduction about yourself, which is usually a 5 to 10 second introduction of yourself and your brand. And this is important because according to YouTube, the first 15 seconds of a video is crucial. So you want to make sure that it has music, that it's upbeat, that it's engaging. Next is your outro video. And so this closes out your video and it tells your viewers your next steps. And it gives information about how to reach you. And then if you're posting this on YouTube, you want to remember to ask them to like and subscribe and comment. And so this, you're not going to hear the audio, but I'm going to set it up. So the beginning of this is an introduction. She says who she is and her company. Then it goes into the video and then it has an outro at the end. So I'll let you take a quick watch.
Hi, my name is Lynn Vandegrift and I work for American Pacific Mortgage. I truly love helping people find homes. Please enjoy this video.
If you're experiencing difficulty making your mortgage payments due to the coronavirus emergency, forbearance may be an option you're considering. Forbearance may help you get back on your feet during this short-term financial difficulty, but there are a few things you need to know and some important decisions you'll need to make before you decide that forbearance is an option for you. Let's begin by understanding.
Okay, so I'm going to send that one, Audrey, so people can take a listen to it and see what it is. But that's one of the videos that we produced for some of our clients, and I'm going to make it available in a special package at the end. So some of those things that make it easy. But imagine if you just had to do one intro and one outro, and we actually produce some of these for our clients as well, and then you zip them up together and you post it. So it makes it easier for you. Okay. We're going to keep on going, and I'm going to share with you some equipment for recording. And again, all of this is in the handout, so you can go and grab that there. And I have links where you can find them at for Best Buy and Amazon. Best Buy you can buy online. I think you can do a drive-by. If you order online, you can drive by and pick it up. And so what you need a camera if it's on your phone. You need your microphone, a phone stand, and lighting. So if you just want a basic phone setup, this tripod is amazing. So it's expandable. It can alternate between both vertical and horizontal. The cost is $22.99. It is available on Amazon. At least the last 2 weeks ago, I had bought it for a client. And then you can just use your earbuds. So you're just wireless earbuds or wired if they're long enough. Super simple. And just make sure you have good lighting. If you want to get into what I call an intermediate phone setup, where you have an external mic and some lights, Then you need a tripod, and there's a ton of them out there, so you can decide which one you want. I have several options that are listed in the guide. You want a microphone, and you can use either an external microphone or a lavalier, and both of those are on there. And then lights. So you want an LED video light or a selfie ring light. I don't like selfie lights because I think it leaves a weird ring in somebody's eyes, but that's just me. I know a lot of the bloggers use them. It's just something I don't prefer. I use an LED light. And this is actually what my setup looks like. So this is the equipment that I use. I use and test a ton of different equipment. Some's good, some is not good, and you just kind of figure it out. So I always want to make sure my clients are getting what's going to work for them. And all of my clients, I give a recommendation, and we actually put a package together that they travel with, or used to travel with, should I say, that has these components to it. So they honestly can record video at any time. If they go into a client's office, they can sit down. Hey, let's just shoot a quick video. So they always have that with them. I have included my list. This is my own list as far as what my setup is. Has the selfie stick, has a phone mount, has your shoe mounts. If you're wondering what a shoe mount is, your shoe mount is this little thing right here, which I have my microphone on. So nothing, I mean, it sounds really fancy, doesn't it? It's not. Lights, I use a Manfrotto. I've tried a bunch of different lights. I like this one the best. It's a little more expensive, but you can actually plug it in so I don't have to go around with a bunch of batteries. Microphone, Rode mic, it's a workhorse. I mean, honestly, it is a workhorse, but you're going to need a cable patch for it because the Rode mic actually comes with a cable that only plugs into a regular camera. So you need to get the cable patch to plug it into your phone. Learned that one the hard way. And then if you have an iPhone, you're going to need your head jack adapter. So that's pretty much it. Super simple. Doesn't take a lot to get going on this. But what you need to do to get into videos and virtual meetings and webinars is have a plan. You got to have a plan. You can't just talk about it. So decide where you're going to do your virtual meetings, where you're going to do your webinars, where you're going to do your videos, develop your weekly plan, write out your templates and your scripts, and then start holding your virtual meetings, your webinars, start recording and posting your video. So here's my call to action. And it's your call to action, but here's my call to action to you on what you need to do. Start creating video. Seriously, start creating video. Consumers want it. Consumers need it. And you have the knowledge. So I want you to stop taking the easy street, and I want you to say, Ginger, I'm going to do this because we need you to do this. We need Cam to do this. We need everyone to do this. And now is the time. And it's amazing sometimes when things happen like this, that it's that one thing that pushes us over the edge. I think this is that one thing. It's that Curly in City Slickers when he says, it's that one thing. That's what this is. It's that one thing. You've got the knowledge. And now it's a matter of sharing it. I want you guys to stop typing a novel into social media. Stop doing it. This one I have seen over and over and over again. Stop it. It's not bad information, but it needs to be a video, and I haven't seen one video. I've seen this copy and pasted over and over and over again, but I haven't seen anything like this. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because there's some really jazzy music there and you can't hear it. But think about where in your process you can do your videos. And so, these are the kind of things, process we wrote for a client. We took each step of the loan process and created a series of videos. So there are 5 little short videos that she can send out at each step. And then she can add it to BombBomb, put it into her CRM. BombBomb interfaces with Total Expert, which is what she uses. She posts it on YouTube. You can put it on your website. You can put it on social media, but all these kind of things. So look at the things you can do. And if you don't feel comfortable in front of the camera, then maybe you could, she didn't want to do the videos. And she's like, Ginger, I just want you to make me cartoon videos. And that's what I want you to do. And so that's what my team made for her, was just cartoon videos. And so there's lots of different ways you can do it. It's just a matter of getting started and doing it, and to let us know, how can we support? What can we do? So I created for you this Marketing Sur thrival workbook, and in it I have the links, I have the everything as far as the virtual meetings, I have the script, I have the intro and outro stuff, I have all that in there. So click on that, and you need to give me your information. So, and then you click on that and it'll download. So it doesn't cost you anything, you just need to do that. And now we'll go to questions.
Wonderful. Thank you. That was an amazing amount of information. I so appreciate it. And what's funny is I was writing down questions as you were speaking, and then you kept answering them. So thank you for that too.
I should have talked faster then, huh?
No, well, I can only write so fast. Anyway, what calendar are you using? Google Calendar, Outlook, etc. What connects through here?
Well, I use Google, but the Zoom meeting connects with Outlook too.
Okay, so you can choose.
You can choose. Yeah.
Okay. So, and we have another comment that on Zoom you have so many options to select to set up an webinar, so it's confusing. So they appreciate all this insight, and then it sounds like you can do a deeper dive into this, and that wouldn't be a terrible thing. One of the questions was, what's the best video service should we use? What is the best video service we should use? And you showed us all the equipment, so I think that probably came in earlier. And someone's talking about learning how to do a buyer and seller presentation on Zoom, where they can upload the documents and show them while they're doing the presentation. And so anyway, they're asking about that. How did they learn how to do that?
So like a screen share?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like when you're doing a presentation, you put the forms up, and it's, like it's more in the, and it's a lot like what you've been doing. So where did they learn how to do all of that?
Well, so I am actually doing that's the second stage, I guess, if you will,
Okay.
of where we are virtually. So if you guys want me to do that next month, I'm happy to come back next month and show how to show your screen.
Okay. Why don't we do that? Why don't we just plan on doing a deeper dive into this next month? We'll put something together where you can do that. Somebody was also asking about, can you do this while you're taking loan applications, which is a good question. And I would think the answer is probably yes. But probably the next question is how. So maybe we can cover that too.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things we can get into with that. So if you guys have questions, submit those to Audrey or to Megan. And, it's one of those things, we don't know what you don't know, and sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And so let's just figure it out and make sure that we can get those questions answered. That's always my goal, is like figuring out, okay, what do we need? What do we need to do? What do you need to know? And if, we don't know it, who can we get that knows it? Because somebody has to know it.
Yeah.
And if nobody's doing it, well, let's figure it out.
Okay, so there is this kind of thing is, you watch something like this and you realize how much you don't know, and that you do need to go deeper. So we'll put that on the schedule guides. So watch for that. Somebody's asking, what do you recommend for a bilingual mortgage consultant? I want to reach both my English and Spanish speaking clients. That's a great question.
So Zoom, you can actually translate Zoom into Spanish. So the instructions are into Spanish. And so, I mean, I would recommend, if you're looking for a tool like that, to do that. And I'm not sure what else you're looking for as far as, providing those services, but Zoom does have it to where you just click it and it translates it into Spanish.
They're asking, where do you get those cartoons? Do you make them? Do they exist somewhere?
My team makes those. So if you want somebody that does it, and it's part of the thing, I mean, I brought on my team last year because my clients were asking for it. And so we started creating it there. And then word kind of got out that we were doing this. So what I showed you in the process was someone that had attended a workshop that I spoke at in Chicago. And I did a coaching group, which I'm going to talk to you about in a second. And I typically don't do coaching just for, one-on-one coaching or for originators because my clients are, RHMI and bigger clients that I produce things for. And so I spoke at this conference, did a session on video, and had several women at the conference say, will you please coach us? We want more. We want more. And so I did my first 6-week coaching program. And so just to get into that, so the tools, and we're running out of time, so I'll just move on. And if you have additional questions, I'm going to put my email up, the address up there. You can email me. But we're creating these
Well, okay.
tools for you at EduMarketing. Did you have another question?
Well, so a couple things. So yes, we are running out of time. I just want you to know that we are getting emails coming in titled "Best Dev Damn Webinar Ever," and that we have many thank you video or thank you. You are awesome emails coming in. So thank you for the feedback, Ginger. You are awesome. This is amazing. And actually, I want to take a moment and let you tell us a little bit about this coaching thing. And Ginger is so not about promoting herself. That is, but I want to encourage you. Yeah. So please do tell us about this coaching program or whatever you're going to call it. You described it to me. I'm going to do it. So tell everyone how they could find out about that. Do we just go to your website and sign up? Where would that information live?
Okay, cool. So part of the tools we're creating for you at EduMarketing, and we're creating them honestly as you're asking for them. So if there's things that you guys want, like you said, the scripts, as far as the scripts for the virtual meetings, it's like, hadn't really thought about that. Can we do that? Sure, we can do that. So we started another 6-week coaching program, and it's going to begin on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, which I think is fitting. And we've been creating these forbearance video script packages. So again, it's like people are looking for information. We also have a virtual video editor package that we've created where we actually edit people's videos. So you can go and record your video and just send your video to us and we'll edit and brand it and put the fancy music with it and do all of that. And then we also will set up your YouTube channel and manage it. So these are all just kind of services that have surfaced over the last year for people just saying, hey, Ginger, can you do this? Or hey, Ginger, can you do that? And so that's one of the things we're doing. So what I did, since you and I had a conversation on your Monday, and I think you had been, I've been doing some webinars for Arch, and I think somebody was on that, and they said, hey, can you do this? And that's kind of how it happens. So I put together what I'm calling a Sur thrival program. This is a camp special. And so it's going to be 6 weeks of video coaching in the video coaching program, which begins on Tuesday, May 5th. I am throwing in, including giving you with my heart just for camp members, as part of this Sur thrival program, 6 weeks of produced CARE Acts educational videos and scripts. So I'm going to deliver one to you each week. And so normally the combined cost of these two together would be $990, which is for the 6 weeks of coachings and the 6 weeks of the video scripts we created. And so for camp, we're actually doing it for half price. So it's $495. So for under $500, you're going to get 6 weeks of coaching. You're going to get 6 weeks of content based around the CARES Act, what's happening with foreclosures, with forbearance, and you're going to get the pre-made videos and you're going to get the scripts. And we're going to deliver one of those to you each week. So if you're interested in that, then you can go, it's on the link that I sent to Megan. Megan's going to send you a link and you can send me your contact if you have questions, additional questions. My website is edumarketing.com, Ginger at EduMarketing. We do video production, content creation, online learning development, virtual production planning, all those kind of things. But get the Sur thrival workbook that I created for you. That's on my website. And just fill out the information. And if you want to find out more information about what I've talked about, just check this box and then we'll have either myself or someone from my team will get in touch with you and find out what you're looking for and how we can help you. And then if you're looking for something positive, I know there's so many different levels that we get to on this. Some days I forget that this is going on. And then sometimes I've watched the news for a little too long and I get so immensely sad. And so that's why I started this video series. It's called Flatten the Curve, Not the Spirit. So you can, it's on my YouTube channel, but I also have it on a website that's Flatten the Curve, Not the Spirit. And then I want to thank everyone from camp, for Audrey, for you and your leadership. You know, it's one of those, we're so blessed to have so many great leaders at camp and have had so many great and will continue. But to have you at this time, I think that the universe had a very good idea on who we needed. So I'm so glad that you're here. And I want to remind everyone, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. And that's where we're at right now. So I want to thank you for the opportunity. I want to wish you all a great weekend. And I look forward to seeing all of you at a camp conference sometime in the future. But thank you.
Amen. Oh, Ginger, thank you. Thank you. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you to Megan. Make sure everybody looks for the registration that will go out as soon as we're done here for Tuesday with Dave Luna with our mortgage update, again, as everything continues to evolve. So again, thank you to Megan. Thank you to Kevin. And thank you, Ginger, from the bottom of my heart. I adore you. And we'll look forward to doing the next one next month. So with that, have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your families, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.